Hello! Long time no see. Welcome back to my channel. Oh my goodness. So, if most of you don't know, I just finished my first year of naturopathic medicine. It was absolutely incredible. So these videos that I'm making are kind of like my online scrapbook because I love memories, and it's kind of cool to see my reflection during that time. So yeah, it's going to be incredible. So let's begin the video. This video is going to be about what I learned in my first year of naturopathic medicine and my 3 tips to you. So, boom, we're going to start last year, fall 2022. First year of naturopathic medicine. It was extremely intense. You are going to take about, I think that one was like 28 units. Luckily for me, I do have a background. I have an undergrad in biology, so it wasn't like the first time I've seen these things, but it's also the first time I've been at this intensity. And it is like drinking water through a fire hose. It was a lot, all at once. Let's go through the classes for the first quarter. So you take integrated structure and function. That's going to go over like all your cells and tissues, like the histology of that, the biochemistry. That part is its own animal. Embryology, it's a little bit craziness. Then on top of that, you have integrated muscular structure and function, I believe, too. So you go over like your muscles, what kind of cells, what's going on there. Then on top of that, you have gross anatomy, which is working on cadavers. Da-da-da. This is real life people who donated their body to science. Then you also have, there's anatomy portion of the integrated muscular section. But basically, you got a lot going on. Some of your teachers will teach like multiple sections of different classes, so it is in your best interest to stay organized. If you go into naturopathic medicine thinking that, oh, it's naturopathic medicine, it's woo-woo, it's not going to be as hard, you're wrong. Totally wrong. And you know why? Because we have to prove ourselves, because we are being compared to MDs and DOs. So you need to make sure you know your stuff. You cannot just think that, oh, I'll take like a biochem class before and I'll be fine. No, you won't be able to keep up with the curriculum. And that's okay. Everyone has a different path. For my school, there's a 4-year and a 5th-year track. And so if you feel super overwhelmed, you can switch to the 5th-year track. Or if you don't pass your classes the first semester, you will be switched to the 5th-year track. That part, I passed everything, so I was lucky. No, I put in a lot of work to pass those classes. So that was beneficial to me because I only want to be at my school for 4 years, so I've done my best to stay on the 4-year track with the intensity of the classes. So that's all the logistical stuff. Now let's get into all my little stories of first year, because stories are what make the world go round. So let's talk about anatomy first. So Steve Meister here is a very visual learner. Lecture classes have never been my thing. I don't really understand what you're saying unless I get to touch it physically, which is good and bad for what I want to do, but it's my learning style. So in my undergrad, I was in like what class was I in? Structure and function of animals. So I've done this before. And then we would have like animal bodies in our lab, and you'd have to dissect them, and what's the structure, what's the function, I don't know what I said. And then on the test, it's like just craziness. So my teacher pulled me into the office one day and goes, Stevie, why do you have like 100% in my lab, but you're getting a 60 in my lecture? Or I told him, I said, I have no idea. And he goes, that is the reverse of everybody else. So you need to like collaborate with your colleagues and see how to fix that. But you know, that's my learning style, is being able to touch stuff with my hands. I can tell you about it. I can locate it. That's just how I like to learn. So that's okay. But I say that to say in anatomy, in the lecture portion of the class, it was very difficult for me. I failed my first 2 tests, which was, the first one was just like, what the hell just happened? Because you only need, and only, asterisk, you only need a 73% now. That sounds like, I got this in the bag. What are you guys talking about? No. Not at this level, not at this intensity. 73, woo! So, my first test, I totally failed. And then my second test, I redid how I studied. I studied for a while. I failed that one worse than I failed the first one. Then there was this incredible doctor in my anatomy lab, and she was telling me, "CV, you have too many resources. Stop studying like that. Anatomy is like a foreign language. Like, you can't study it like you were studying previously." So she basically broke it down to me and was like, you need to know what nerve, what muscles. If you were stabbed right here, what would happen? Because if a patient comes in and you have pain right there, you need to be able to easily eliminate the other choices to simplify. Okay, like, obviously you're not going to have your radial artery or radial nerve in your leg. So why would you even select that? That was dumb. And so she was incredible. And then I ended up passing the class because I got such a good score on the last test. And then my school does offer, if you got between a 65 and a 73, like below the 73, you get to take one more test to pass you. And so I did, and I ended up getting like, what did I get in that class? Like an 85. So I went from failing to learning how to study to passing the class. And with anatomy, I actually I do take the lead with one of my buddies, Jackie, love you, on setting up the cadavers for our gross lab exams. And it's incredible. So I took complete failure. Like, you will fail in school, but you have to learn from it. If you keep doing it, then you have an issue. But I wouldn't have learned how to study for that class unless I had failed. And I wouldn't be a TA for gross lab if I hadn't failed. So it was an incredible learning experience. That was one of my favorite classes of my first year, because first quarter was just like, oh my God, I'm working on a body. Second quarter, which I'll insert little footage, I got to hold a human heart. That was like a magical, life-changing experience for me. And then when you hold someone's lungs and you just think about, like, this was someone's like life force. I'm holding it in my hands, like, incredible. And then you see just like aneurysms in people's bodies and just the difference between literal everybody in the class. It's so cool that someone donated, multiple people, we have 10 people in our class, donated their bodies for my education. It's just incredible. It's magical. It's just the first shock, though, of the first class, like incoming students, the first day is going to be weird, especially when you do the face. That's later. That's like third quarter. Don't worry about that, but you will do it at some point. It's a life-changing experience because it's really out of body. It's very strange and amazing and incredible at the same time. So that's my anatomy story for the first year. What to expect a lot of work, but you can do it. It's going to push you to the limits, and you're going to be like, oh my God, like, how am I going to get through 8 finals in 3 days? You just will. You've done hard things in the past. This is hard. You're testing your limits, and it's an incredible feeling once you're done. There's nothing like it. So my 3 tips if you're going into naturopathic medical school: first thing, keep a core group of friends. They will change during the year because you get to meet people, you get to see how they react under stress, and then you can adjust your friend group from there and really see who has your best interest at heart. Do you want to be around people that are constantly complaining yet do nothing? No. You don't want to be around. You want to be around people who really understand and can see kind of like your limits. Like, when they're around you so much, they know when it's like, oh, she's just having a bad day, or like she needs a little bit more like support right now. So let's make sure that we're advocating for her. Like, you want friends that have your back. Second would be to manage your time. It's going to be extremely intense. It will be intense. And there'll be periods where you're like, oh my God, I just need to catch my breath. And catch your breath. Go out, make sure you have hobbies outside of school. Make sure you still have a life outside of school. Don't just school 24/7. And keep an open mind. So, like, I went into naturopathic medical school because I had thyroid cancer, and I really like adjunctive care. That's one thing that I love. And learning through each different class in school, there's so many modalities that you want to like incorporate into your practice and just like in your daily life. And then another tip I would say is take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you. So I just recently went to the AANP medical conference in Arizona, and it was incredible. You see this, like, I have this big like Lazy Susan thing behind me. I got so many samples. I got to meet so many naturopathic doctors in all specialties. So like one that was like pretty woo-woo, which I like woo-woo. I like the science, but I like the woo-woo too. And then I met one was very clinical study based, like everything was backed by science, which is also really nice. You need to have that balance. And just to hear people talk about their experience and like they're real people, like it was just really incredible. It was 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but they were like 14-hour days, and it was just like amazing. So if you can go to those conferences, do it, because you will meet doctors that you're like, wow, I want to practice with them, or I want to learn from them to see how I can incorporate some of their styles within my own practice. And then my last tip, have fun. Make little joyous memories in school and just enjoy yourself. Don't take it too seriously. Definitely study, but just remember at the end of the day, your mental health matters. If you need to take a step back and you need to go to the 5th year track, there's nothing wrong with that. But also know when you need to push and you need to just give it your all. So that's a fine line to balance through. But yeah, this is my scrapbook moment of my first year of naturopathic medicine. So now I'll insert a bunch of like little clips that I don't want to miss. Like my pen too. Alright you guys, I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. Alright, bye guys. Medical School Chronicles with Melissa. We rocked our presentation. Straight facts. Reporting live. I have finished my first quarter of medical school. Gross anatomy was fantastic. I'm gonna go check my score, but I just want to come on here and say hello. I'm still alive. I'm still present. I'm just working hard, baby. Woo! I just finished my first clinic shift with people actually in it, and it was absolutely incredible. Not giving away patient information, but it was so cool to see what we're learning actually applied in real life. And just listening to people, it was just incredible, and just how much mental health service we really, really need, and how much stress impacts your health. Totally phenomenal. Oh, amazing. April 19th. Hello. I have finished my first year of medical school from McCarran Park, and it was absolutely incredible. I'm so glad I passed all my classes. I don't have to remediate anything, and I've learned a lot this year. I just had a margarita and insane experience. I can't believe I'm done with my first year and now I get 3 months off. Amazing. But I learned a lot. I'm exhausted. I will be taking some time off to rejuvenate myself and my adrenal glands. Can't even believe it. All right. This is June 23rd, 2023. And I'm out.